to finish potting up tomatoes, which I'm right in the middle of. I have already done yellow brandywine, cherry, Cherokee. I just finished the Crimson Sprinter. I still have Roma to do and beefsteak to do. And then I will be done completely with potting up tomatoes and peppers. And then the only other thing I need to pot up is basil. And then I will be ready to go ahead and stock the table at the farm stand with all the starts. In theory, we're still in a possible frost time of year, but looking out even just 10 days, there is no frost on the forecast at least. So I wouldn't necessarily suggest people purchasing these and then putting them in their garden, but I know that with these nice sunny days coming, people are starting to think about what they want in their gardens, and so they want to at least stop and look and start thinking about it, or at least have it in hand so when they're ready to plant it, they can go ahead and plant it. So I will start advertising all the starts that I have once I'm done with this. So that's a big project for today that I want to get done. Another really important project that's on the top of the list that I want to get done is to seed start. It's a little late for seed starting. We're like 2 weeks out from last frost date, but the things I want to start are going to do a little bit better if I start them beforehand than if I put them right in the ground. And that also gives me a little bit of freedom of letting them grow ahead of time while I'm still working on getting the beds ready for them to live in for the season. So I'm going to get some things started today, hopefully. And then another project, if we have time, is just to go ahead and start planting things out. At this point, I still have some cold season crops that I can put in. I've done all my cold season flowers, but I can go ahead and start doing broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, some of those things that I said I wasn't going to grow this year and I am going to grow. So some of those beds need to be amended and weeded, so I can go ahead and get started with those things as well and get those into the ground. So let's see how much I can get done today. I've got about 20 minutes before nap time is up with the baby. So I'm going to push until I can get as much done as I can. I was planning on entitling this video "A Day in the Life of a Gardening Mom," and I still think I'm going to, but be aware that this is more like 3 days in the life of a gardening mom. Because you know what? That's what happens in life. I want to give you like positive aesthetic videos, but I also want to be real. And this is kind of what happens when you're a mom, is that you plan on doing things and then they don't go the way you expected, and it takes you 3 times as long to get done what you plan on getting done. So the last few things I want to show you is I'm going to show you the that I started yesterday and how I kind of got those organized. This is my last little bit of seed starting that I'm getting done. I will put pictures on the screen for you of what I am planning on doing with those. And then I'm also going to get this whole disarray of craziness picked up and organized. We had torrential rains yesterday. It literally rained all day long, non-stop yesterday. And so I have quite a few containers out here that don't have holes at the bottom. And so things are just swimming and they need to get dumped out and refreshed a little bit so they don't drown in all of that water. So let's go check out the seeds and then let's get this project done, get some of these plants out on the farm stand, and we will call it a week in the life of a gardening mom. You could probably hear my little chicks over there. Stay tuned for that. That is going to be a separate video. I'm not going to put that in this week. I will put that in next week. I'll do a video just dedicated to the chicks because it was kind of a whole thing. So let's check out. I got zucchini and yellow squash started this past week. They're popping up really well. They're not ready to put on the farm stand yet, but they should be ready to put on the farm stand by probably a week or so. So that'll be good. I'll show you how I did my pumpkins. I have a lot of varieties of pumpkins that I'm going to try to grow this year. I was unsuccessful with pumpkins last year, I think because it was so dry and hot. But this year will hopefully be different. In all the years previous have been fine. So I think last year was just kind of weird. So I've put 2 to 3 seeds in each of these varieties, hoping that, you know, I'll have at least 2 for each, and I'll put them each on the same mound, both of the same varieties, but I mean both plants. I will do a separate video on all of the different varieties of pumpkins that I am doing this year. Unless you're way down south, it is really not too late to do pumpkins, even if your last frost is passed, because some of these pumpkins you don't want to put out too early because then they'll grow too quickly and then they won't be ready for fall. They'll be ready in like late summer and you don't really want that. So there is still time to grab some of these varieties when I do this video. If you see some that you really want to do, there is still opportunity to do that. So I'm going to do that in a separate video. You can be looking for that, but I obviously, as you can tell, all the popsicle sticks, I have lots of varieties. I also have another 8-pack over there with the pumpkins, and it's got cantaloupe, watermelon, and loofah. Watermelon I did last year, was not technically successful, but I guess I was successful in that I did get a little watermelon that was about this big, and that's the best I've ever done. So I'm putting those things in the greenhouse because it gets so hot in there that would be a really nice growing condition for them. I have another 50 cell count tray down here that I'm not going to pull out, but it has cosmos in it, and I have a double click variety of cosmos, the cupcake pink variety of cosmos, and then also a lemonade apricot variety of cosmos, which is going to be really pretty. So I should have about 25 plants, which is a lot. Like, it's a lot of cosmos. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all those cosmos, but I wanted options. I wanted color options. So I'm getting color options this year. The last thing I want to show you is what I am doing with my sunflowers this year, brand new. Sunflowers generally like to be planted right into the ground. When the soil is warm, they will pop up direct seeded just fine. They actually love it and do really great. I wanted to get a head start on my cosmos. This is something that Lisa Mason Ziegler does. I got the idea from her, and she has done it successfully for decades. So you start your sunflower seeds indoors, and you start them in some type of pot or container that you don't have to pull out of the tray because they don't like their roots disturbed. So I decided to do it in egg cartons. So I have 30. I cut the side of the egg carton off, then cut off one row of the egg carton. So I have 10 in each, and I put 3 of them in here. So each row has 5 of a different variety. So I have 6 different varieties, 5 of each. I'm gonna let these grow on for 2 weeks. I'll harden them outside and then I'll plant them. And so the goal of that is that you are getting, one, a little bit ahead, because I'm actually going to be putting these out before my last frost date, but they should be fine because they will have gotten some strength to them. The second thing is that I have a hard time with doing sunflowers in the ground. because I seem to lose them, like whether with watering or things don't germinate. It's hard to go through and check on every single hole. And so this is going to help me with that, make sure that every single one of them is germinated. And then I will put them in the ground knowing that they've been germinated and that they are ready to grow. So I'm crossing my fingers that I will have some ready in July. It is very hard to get sunflowers in July here because it's just not very warm until really the mid to end of June. But that is my goal with this, and hopefully it will work.